In today's tutorial, let's learn how to do this twinkling snowflake. This is Twinkling Snowflake number 3, the final of the collection. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. In today's tutorial we're going to cover the Twinkling Snowflake number 3. So this is the final one. We have tutorials available for all of the collection so far. There's only 3 in this entire collection. And this one here, I need to apply a little more starch to it in order to have it stiffen up to make it a perfect snowflake. Today's tutorial I have done this in green because I have a white background. If I do a white snowflake you'll never see it. So this is actually pretty easy to do. There are only 3 rounds for this whole thing, and this is actually kind of a really neat concept as we do these spikes towards the end. I don't think this is over complicated when you really see it being broken down in today's tutorial. I'm using a Bernat Handicrafter cotton yarn today. You can substitute for Lily Sugar and Cream, using a 4mm size G crochet hook today. If you would like these to be much smaller you can use Bernat Handicrafter thread and just lower down your hook even more to like a 2mm, and then you'll have a nice elegant size snowflake as well. So without further ado, let's just pull up the diagrams and I'll show you what we're going to be doing today. Today's tutorial will have written instructions as you see over here, and then there's also a crochet diagram. Do not let this diagram really throw you off for what is being asked. It's really quite simple if you take it step by step, and once you see how this is actually done you're going to appreciate it all the more. So when we go around you'll see that there's black and then there's blue and then there's black. That represents the different rounds. So there's only 3 rounds in this whole monster. So let's just pull up our crochet hook and let's get started right away. Let's begin a slip knot and insert your hook in. Remember it never counts as one. For this snowflake we're going to need a chain 6 to start, so just let's begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Coming into the very first chain to begin, just going in, yarn over, pull through just like this, and this becomes your center ring of your snowflake. Let's begin round number 1. We're going to start off by chaining 6. So this is going to count as a double crochet and a chain 3 space. So let's just do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and we're going to come back into the center of the ring and we're going to do a double crochet. So for this whole round it's really quite simple. You're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, that's your chain 3 space, and then double crochet back into the ring. You need to have a total count of 12 of these posts that you see going all the way around. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3 and then double crochet back into the center ring. Continue to do that until you have a total of 12 of these posts going all the way around, and I'll meet you back and I'll show you how to finish off this section. So I'm almost finished this revolution. I noticed that I'm running out of space, so just remember it's all riding in the ring, so you just gotta pull this out and that just compresses everything. So I need a total of 12 of these posts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. I got 2 more posts to do. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. This is number 11. And then 1, 2, 3. This is number 12. And I want to recount before I do that one more time. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Remember that I still have to create the chain 3 space between the final 12th and the first one once again. So 1, 2, 3 and I want to slip stitch it to the 3rd chain up. So 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so I have to slip stitch it so then it keeps its balance, that each one of these posts have a chain 3 space between them. Let's move on to the next round. Let's begin round number 2. We're gonna be starting off with the beginning cluster first in order to do it, and then it's just a regular cluster after that. But let's begin to do the next section first. So we're gonna just come to the next chain 3 space, insert your hook right into the space, yarn over and pull through and through. So we've just slip stitched to a chain 3 space because this is where we need to operate. So let's begin a beginning cluster. We're going to chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3. And what we need to do is do a cluster of double crochet. So we're just gonna wrap the hook going into the same space, pull through. You now have 3 on your hook. You're gonna yarn over and pull through 1 only. okay, and do another one of those. So yarn over, going in, pull through 2 and hold. You will have a total of 3 loops on your hook. This is the beginning cluster. Yarn over and pull through everything and then chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And now we're going to do regular clusters in all the rest of these. So how we do that is that we yarn over, going into the next chain 3 space, pull through 2 and hold. Okay, so you don't finish that stitch. Yarn over, going into the same space, pull through 2 and hold, and yarn over, going into the same space, pull through 2 and hold. So you'll have a total of 3 double crochets here. You'll have an extra loop here, so there should be always 4. Yarn over, pull through everything and then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me review a cluster once again. So yarning over, going into the next space, pull through 2 and hold, yarn over, space, pull through 2 and hold, yarn over, in space, pull through 2 and hold. So now you have 4 on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 and then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Do that same thing going all the way around. You will have a total of 12 clusters once you're done. I'm just finishing up the final cluster here, and don't forget I still have to do a chain 5 to before you join it to the top of the next cluster. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and join with the top. So do you see how they're all leading, like they're leaning over into one stitch right here? Okay, that's the top. So I want to slip stitch right to the top, and we're going to then begin to do the next section. The next section can be a little bit quite overwhelming, but I will give you some tips to break it down for you because it's really not once you understand what you're looking for. So let's begin round number 3. So we have our pattern once again here, and we're looking at it, and round number 3 is all the black area that you can see all the jutting out points. This is not as hard as it looks. It can be quite overwhelming to look at it, but I want to break it down for you. Is that right now there are 12 spokes. Okay, so there's going to be 6 large spokes, 6 mini spokes, and then the spaces in between the spokes. So if you follow the clusters out, you will notice that you'll see a spoke. The next cluster has a larger spoke, the next one has half one, and then the next one has a big one. So it's the spaces in between that have the chain 5 that kind of make it in balance. So if you look at it from this perspective on the counting, it doesn't look so overwhelming. So we're going to start up right here where it has the number 3, and we're going to begin there, and we're going to start there. So just keep an eye on the spokes, making sure that you're doing every other big spoke, little spoke, big spoke, little spoke, and make sure that you keep that in balance. So let's begin round number 3. I know you can do it too. So let's take our time. So we're gonna start off, and we're going to do, we're not gonna start off with a spoke right away. We're gonna come into the chain 5 space and just slip stitch. So just yarn over, pull through and through, and then you'll notice that you're within the slip stitch area of the chain 5. Let's begin by chaining 1 and then 1 single crochet into that same chain space. You're now going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Come on to the other side. So just kind of come over to that same chain 5 space and just single crochet once again. Okay, so keep that all within that same chain 5 space. So now that we've gotten this far, we've gotten this chain 5 space going on, we're now gonna build up the 3 towers that you see here following it with the tip of the building. So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be building up, and we're gonna chain 3, and then we're gonna do our clusters in. And we're going to chain 3 clusters in, chain 3 clusters in, and then to the top. And do you see that there's chains on the other side of this building? So the ones that are coming down are the chains. So we're gonna build our way all the way back up, and the chains on this side of the spike is going to be chains as we come back down in order to get back down here. So we're gonna come up one side, do the top, and then come down the other side. Let's begin. Okay, so we're going to carry on, and we're gonna slip stitch into the top of the cluster, and do you see how everything is leaning towards into this one stitch? Okay, this is exactly where we're going to go. So we're just gonna slip stitch into there first, and then we're going to begin building our tower. So let's begin. So we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to cluster into this same space. Okay, we're gonna cluster right into there. So we're just gonna yarn over and going into the same space. So just yarn over, pull through 2 and hold, and keep doing that until you get a total of 4 loops on your hook. So there should be a total of 3 of these kind of double crochets coming together as a cluster. The 4th is always our beginning. So then you're going to yarn over and pull through everything. Okay, make sense? So let's begin, and we're gonna start on our next one. So to start the next one, we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and this time we're gonna cluster into this new one that we just built. Okay, so we're going to cluster into that same space, and you have to have 3 of those. Okay, you'll have 4 loops back on your hook again, yarn over, pull through everything, and then we have to build another one. So this is the tallest one, so just chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and do another cluster into this new one that you just created. Okay, so now you have your 4 loops, and then you're gonna pull through everything. So this time what we're going to do is that we're gonna, on the top of the building, we have to make that nice peeking area. So what we have to do to begin to do that is that we have to do some fancy footwork. So we're gonna yarn over first, and then we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3, slip stitch into the top one, and then this time we are going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, slip stitch back into that same space again, and then do it one more time. So we're gonna chain 3 this time. So 1, 2, 3 and slip stitch into that same space. So we have our 3 points. So we have the small one, the biggest top, and the small one on the other side. And now it's time for us to work down the building, come down the other side. So we're gonna chain 3, 1, 2, 3, come into the next one where the cluster is, and slip stitch. Okay, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, coming down the side of the building, come to the next bottom of the next cluster, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You're now at the base of your building, and you're going to slip stitch right where everything else is, right in the bottom of the cluster, like so. So now you've gone up your building, you've done your peak, and now you're coming back down the other side. So let's carry on. So to carry on, we're going to just move over, and we're going in the next chain 5 space, you're going to single crochet first. So 1 and then chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet into the same chain 5 space but on the other side. And now we're going to begin a smaller building. So we've done the big building, and now we're gonna do the smaller one. So to do that, we're going to single crochet, or sorry, slip stitch into the top of the cluster to get our bearings, and then chain 3. So 1, 2, 3 and cluster into that same space. Now the smaller buildings only have 1 cluster, and then we do the top peak of it. So once you have all 4 loops on there, yarn over, pull through everything. So just yarn over first and then chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the top. Okay, and now do 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip stitch to the top, and now 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch to the same spot. And now you got to come down the building first before you can move on to the next one. So 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the bottom of the cluster back on the snowflake itself, and that concludes that one. Okay, so now we've done a big one and a small one. Let me review the big one, because the big one is probably the hardest one of them both, the two. So let's begin. We're gonna, in the chain 5 space, we're gonna single crochet, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, single crochet into the same space, and let's build our big building. So we have to come into the top of the cluster first to slip stitch, and then chain 3. So 1, 2, 3 and then cluster into that same space. Okay, Okay, you got your 4 loops on there, yarn over, pull through everything, and chain 3 again to begin your next one. So 1, 2, 3, cluster into the top of the new section to build your building. This is level 2. Okay, you got your 4 again, yarn over, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. This is your 3rd level, so build the cluster there. Okay, yarn over, pull through everything, and now you're at the top of your building. So now you have to build that spire that's at the top of your building. So let's yarn over first and then chain 3. 1, 2, 3, going slip stitching into the top. The top piece is 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slip stitch to the top. Okay, next one is 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch. And now we have to go down all the floors. So you got 3 floors to go, so just chain 3. 1, 2, 3, slip stitch to the next base of the cluster that's in front of you, and then chain 3. 1, 2, 3, coming down. This is floor number 2, I guess you can say. Slip stitch to that, and then 1, 2, 3, and you're back at ground level for your final. So continue that same patterning going all the way around. So you'll do big, and then small, big, and small, and making sure that you do your chain 5 spaces in between. So carry on along that, and I'll see you at the end of this revolution, and we'll see how you've done at that point. So I'm coming up all the way back around. The last one is a smaller one. Obviously makes sense because the next big one is coming up right next. So I'm just coming down, and I want to slip stitch to the bottom of the cluster. And this is exactly where I started, right over here. So I'm just gonna slip stitch and then just weave in my ends, and then I can use a hardener to be able to harden this and make it really quite fabulous. And this is a really kind of a cool concept. Really love this idea, and this is the final of the Twinkling Snowflake collection, and this is really quite cool. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of Yarnspirations as well as the crochetcrowd.com. We'll see you, and thank you for joining me today. Bye bye.